Well, it's no question that the fate of Halloween Horror Nights on both coasts has been in jeopardy, and whether or not they're going to happen this year due to COVID-19, but more in specific, the Orlando event has had more of a possibility of happening compared to the Hollywood event, and we have some new findings that leads us to believe HHN 30 is in full swing to run this year. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to SoCal Exploring, your stop for all things theme park and attraction related. If you're new here, subscribe with those bell notifications on. Check us out on social media at SoCal Exploring Media on Instagram and at SoCal Exploring on Twitter. Guys, we have new merch. We've been dropping new merch. I'm actually wearing one of the pieces right now, like Ghost one that you saw in the intro. But we have new merch, and more in specific for Horror Nights Unscripted, done by our good friend at _HHN updates on Instagram. I'll leave the link down to that design down below. I'm sure I'm already showing it on the screen, but this one will only be available on his shop, and you can also purchase one of these shirts or other Horror Nights Unscripted designs on my shop. They'll both be linked down in the description. So big shout out to HHN updates for doing this design for me and Losh. It looks absolutely fantastic. But yes, we have some new findings today that lead us to believe that Halloween Horror Nights 30 is happening this year. Now, I've been saying from the very beginning, I think Orlando has more of a chance of happening compared to the Hollywood event, and it looks like with the characters getting hired and everything going on, it looks like Orlando's event will happen 99.9% sure it will happen at Universal Orlando Resort. So let's first start off with the website, shall we? Well, the website is really the big focus of today's video. When you go on the Orlando website, a new safety guideline pops up that reads, Universal will continue to follow CDC guidelines and the recommendations of local health and safety officials for its operation of Halloween Horror Nights this fall. More details will be shared closer to the event's debut. So now, what does this mean? A lot of people were saying, oh no, this isn't a good sign. This means that Halloween Horror Nights Orlando is not happening this year. Well, this looks like a good sign because it's basically saying, hey, we are planning to run the event with new safety guidelines. It's not saying, we're going to determine whether or not it's suitable to run the event this year. No, it's literally saying that they're following all the recommendations of local health and safety officials for its operation of Halloween Horror Nights Orlando. So basically, the guidelines that need to be in play, basically for CDC requirements, because obviously Halloween Horror Nights is a completely different event that would just need to be spaced out drastically. And I definitely think this is a good sign that Halloween Horror Nights Orlando is happening this year. So we'll just have to wait and see. But as far as me, when I opened up the website, it popped up right away. You may have to search for it, but for me, as soon as I opened up the website, that little guideline popped up right away. So good news for Halloween Horror Nights 30. Now, if we scroll all the way to the bottom of the website, before it read, no masks were allowed at the event or anything. Now it reads, warning, event may be too intense for young children and is not recommended for children under the age of 13. No costumes or costume mask allowed. So beforehand it said just no mask period, but they just updated it saying no costume mask, which means they're preparing to tell guests, you'll have to be required to wear a mask at Halloween Horror Nights this year, because they just completely eliminated just saying mask and instead made it more specific to where you can't wear costume mask. You can't walk in with a stormtrooper helmet on or anything like that. Plus, why would you? You're at Universal, not Disney. So it is really good news that Universal Orlando is updating this website. As we all know, the Hollywood website is still the same from 2019's event, but the fate of Hollywood I've already talked about, and I don't think that it's going to happen this year. But for the Orlando website, they're updating it frequently, and it's good, and it gives fans, more hope that Halloween Horror Nights 30 will happen this year. And I honestly think that we're approaching an announcement very, very soon. My prediction that I put on Twitter as of today, if something hasn't been announced already, July 7th when I'm filming this, I think that Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood will get canceled sometime this week, and then right after that will be a Halloween Horror Nights Orlando house announcement or a ticket sale announcement, whatever. It's going to be an announcement either way. Hopefully within the next couple weeks. I'm predicting this week. I know we've been predicting every single week, but I'm predicting this week, and if not, then sometime in July. One thing that has fans concerned is the fact that the Express tab is now taken off the website, the Universal Express tab. So that begs the question, will they have Universal Express this year? Now obviously with the opening of both Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure, adventure, the virtual queue has seen quite a bit of success from what I've heard, and quite a bit of success from what I've heard from Losh as well, as he's been out to the park many times since it reopened. But will it work out at Halloween Hornets, where there's less to offer compared to the tons of attractions and rides that they have to offer during normal daytime operations? And to that question, I think so. And honestly, if they don't have Universal Express and instead they just use the virtual queue with standby, I much prefer that over Universal Express with standby. Instead, I'd rather have it virtual queue with standby. I just think crowds and wait times will be a little bit shorter, and ultimately make it easier to social distance, etc. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see, and we'll have to wait and find out about all this stuff. But a lot of people have been realizing this on the website, as myself did, and it is quite exciting stuff nonetheless. A couple other small topics I didn't touch up on because there's just no point in making a full video about it is character dining is officially canceled. That was old news a couple weeks ago, and the Unmasking the Horror tours and the RIP tours are going to be going on this year. I'm curious to see how they're going to space that out, if they're just going to make it one group for the RIP tour and not pair you with other groups. Same with the Unmasking the Horror tour. We'll see how that pans out, but those two extras, those two tours are going to be on for Halloween Hornets 30 this year. However, character dining will not be available for this year's event. But I mean, that does it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, click the like button, subscribe down below. We're making Halloween Hornets videos of both Orlando and Hollywood, so make sure you check out our channel and always keep up to date with what we're uploading on all of our social media as well. My name is Scott. You've been watching SoCal Exploring. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.